Iran in turmoil. After decades of royal rule, millions of Iranians took to the streets. A popular movement against a regime that was seen as brutal, corrupt, and illegitimate.
As a student at the time of the revolution, there was a feeling that we were being humiliated by the Shah and his regime. Domestically, the Shah's regime was a dictatorship. There was no freedom.
Revolutionary forces under the leadership of Grand Ayatollah Khomeini forced the Shah of Iran into exile. His government overthrown and replaced by a new Islamic order. Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, the self-proclaimed King of Kings, ruled Iran from 1941, replacing his father, who was deposed when Britain and the Soviet Union occupied Iran during the Second World War. The new Shah, it was believed, would be more malleable to their needs, allowing for more control of such a strategically placed oil-rich country. But the Shah's closeness to foreign powers always made Iranians question his legitimacy.
And the only way nationalists could really reassert authority over Iran was to get rid of the Pahlavi monarchy.
The seeds of discontent were planted early in the Shah's reign. The most important natural resource, oil, was in British hands. The rights bought at the turn of the 20th century for a mere fraction of their true worth. Most Iranians who worked in the oil fields in Abadan lived in squalor, while the British lived in privilege. The fiercely nationalist, democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, who had made it his mission to nationalize Iran's oil, threatened British control of the industry. His socialist leanings were also seen as a menace by the US, who feared Iran might gravitate towards the Soviet bloc. The British and Americans agreed Mossadegh had to be removed. The CIA engineered coup of 1953 put the Shah firmly in power. Mossadegh lived out his days in his family home under house arrest. Iran's modern-day political hero was silenced. So was any talk of the former leader.
The Shah's mistake was that he himself didn't make decisions. Instead, they were made by foreign counselors, especially the American counselors, who had the fundamental role of planning things for the Shah.
Land was not redistributed. They sold the uncultivated lands to deprived farmers. It wasn't given away. They had to pay in installments for 15 years. The peasants were left with nothing and abandoned their villages and lost their way of life. The Shah did not do anything to benefit the people.
In 1963, the Shah gave extraterritorial rights to American military officials. And this then fitted into this nationalist perception that the Shah was not really a patriot. The term Khomeini used that had resonated, that this was a capitulation to Western imperialism.
Khomeini's criticism of the reforms and of the Shah was harsh and uncompromising, as was the Shah's response. Khomeini was arrested and imprisoned, sparking off protests in the holy city of Qom, where Khomeini was based. These soon spread to cities across Iran, a sure sign of Khomeini's growing popularity. In response, the Shah's security forces launched a crackdown, igniting even more protests throughout the country.